Do you want to look better, feel better, or do better? Yeah, me too. Let's get at it. Well, in 2023, I'm going to be talking about habits because we all have habits, and the good habits create a good life, and your bad habits create a bad life. We all have habits. It's our brain's way of doing things over and over so that we conserve energy, so that we don't have to think of the new way to drive to work or boil an egg that we do all the time. Well, we're all doing these habits or things all day. So why don't we do the things that are working for us, that are creating a good life? So this series is about being aware of the habits you have, figuring out which ones work for you and which ones don't, and if they're not working for you, creating new ones. So it's possible. We all can do it. We can all create new habits. And this is my main argument. It's easier to create a good habit than to live with a bad one. Living with a bad habit, it just won't go well for you. It won't help your life. Now, creating a good habit will take some work, maybe 2 months' time. That may seem too overwhelming to you, but think about living with a bad habit for the rest of your life. That's not a good idea. So we just need to figure out which habits are working for us. Those are the good ones. Figure out which ones are not, and stop those and replace them with habits that will work for us. So the first habit I'm talking about is make a habit of embracing change. It's the beginning of the year. Many people are making resolutions, but instead of the pressure of a resolution, I want to talk about creating a habit. And my first one is embracing change. Change is inevitable. We know that. We age, we're different every day. The weather changes, politics change, friends come and go, children grow up. Things are always changing. I had a friend many years ago who I told her that I was going to move. I had lived in the Twin Cities area my whole life. Now I was 31 years old, and I had gone there, grown up there, gone to college in the Twin Cities, got married, had a couple kids, and I was going to move to Iowa. And this friend said to me, Kathy, change is not always easy, but it can always be good. And I have used that advice over and over and over again because it's not the change, it's how I react to the change and how I see the change. It can be good if I embrace it, the habit of embracing change. So Evelyn was right when she gave me that advice many years ago. We can do a couple different things with change. We can deny it, we can fight it, or we can embrace it. If we don't like the change that's in front of it, often we make up little stories. Like maybe this isn't happening. Maybe that person was just having a bad day and they aren't always rude to me, but they are always rude to you. So we make up these little stories because we don't even want to see the change. And we just need to see the change for what it is. It's not, we often make it extremely bad or extremely good. But change is just change. It's part of our journey. It's part of our process. Something might seem like it's going to be really bad, and you can go with that story theme and make up a whole big story about how terrible this is going to turn out, or how good it's going to turn out when you don't even know. It's just part of a process. So we just need to see the change for what it is and take just the next step. By its very nature, change will be bumpy. It's going to be a process where over time you'll be doing well and then not, and then well and then not. And if the change means you have to have a new skill or do something different, and you're just not going to be that good at it at first. It's just how change is. So let me talk about denying change. So often things happen and we're like little kids, la 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 la, I don't want this change to happen, so I think I'll deny that it's existing. I see this often with people whose parents are aging. They see their parents as they were when that person was a child or when that person was a young adult. And now their parents are aging and losing some of their capacity. And people sit in that childlike place because they want their parents to be everything they used to be. But the truth is right in front of them. There's change happening right in front of them, and they're not accepting what's happening. The problem is, if we don't embrace the change, this what we're seeing with our parents right in front of us, it'll leave us flat-footed. So all of a sudden, something will happen because we've been denying the change, and then we'll have to quick make a decision. I heard of one friend of a friend's story where the father was aging and he shouldn't have been driving, and the adult children thought, well, he probably is driving all right, because they just denied that their father was losing capacity. And then tragically, he hit someone and killed him. And no one would want that to happen. But it was that denial that this was what was happening. In my own case, my siblings and I believe, did a very good job as our parents aged. My father has passed, my mother's still around, and we've been through many, many iterations of what is going on with them, and it's been difficult and beautiful too, as we've all worked together. But at one point we were talking about, my dad did not want to move, and we were talking about with each other, should we put down some deposits on some different facilities just in case they need assisted living or whatever. And there was one place where my dad and mom knew quite a few people there, and they would make little hints like, well, if we had to move somewhere, we would go there, but we don't need to move anywhere. We're doing fine. Well, we did not put money down on that place. And then there became a point where my parents had to move. My dad could no longer drive, and my mom was not driving at that point. And because we had not put that deposit down, there was no space for them. There was no spot. So they had to move to a different place where they didn't know many people. So it left us flat-footed because we denied the reality of what the change that was happening. We all do the best we can with what we had. I'm really not beating myself up and my siblings that much about it. It's just an example of what happened. Other people see change and they fight it. It's because we don't like the discomfort of being forced to do something new and different. Because we're not going to be that good at it. Often companies will have new software, like we're all going to start using this new software. Well, people will fight it, and they'll talk about all the reasons we should just use what we have, and we don't cooperate with the transition because we are just afraid of how that's going to impact our lives and how we don't like it. Fear as a motivator is not good at all. It just makes us struggle more and more and more. We need to face the change. Don't fight it. Just go along with it, especially if it's something that's not in your control anyways. If your company has chosen new software, that's not your choice. You have to go along with it, or you eventually will be forced to go along with it. So make this habit of embracing change. It's going to help you because things are changing. And if you're more capable of embracing change and taking it on and changing your skills or doing things a different way, when those change, that's just become easier and easier for you. And eventually some change will come to you and you'll know how to do it. You'll just be good at it, and you will free yourself from the struggle. That's inevitable if you fight it or deny it. There's a few little things you could do to teach yourself how to embrace change. You can rearrange the furniture in your house. That would be an easy thing to do. If you're really courageous, you could rearrange some of the drawers in your kitchen. And I know by experience that is really, really difficult to accept that new change. Oh, I kept looking in the wrong drawer for my saran wrap, So that'd be a way to learn to embrace change. You could try a hobby. It's the beginning of the year. It's a good time to start new things. Or you could listen to a different kind of music. That'd be another way to just embrace change. Let your body and mind and heart do something different. And it's a little more effort, but just see what happens in that process. I know you will be glad you did. So thank you for taking this little journey with me today. You can change. Embrace it. Be well.